In this video, we're going to talk about authorization settings. It is under User Customization, User Setup, and Register User. By clicking on an ID to edit the authorization and heading over to the Authorization tab, you are met with Default Authorization and Task Authorization. The default authorization, by default, gives you no task at all or all task authorization, meaning that once set as no task authorization, there is no access to any menu at all. However, the default all task authorization lets you view all menus. Now, you can use the default authorization menu when you need to separate them by departments. You can use the task authorization setup to individualize those settings. Also, remember that the default authorization follows the authorization settings that have been made in the authorization group settings. In order to set up more default authorization groups, you have to click on the authorization group settings. By clicking on New, you can add a authorization group code name. I have created an authorization group called Sales Department. So let us press Task Authorization. So for the Sales Department, I only want to allow the Sales menu and the rest to have no authorization. So I have left the authorization settings like so. Furthermore, you can look at the Exception Action menu and Exception menu. By clicking on the Exception Action, you can choose what kind of actions that you're going to give authorization to. So if you only want to allow the authorization group to have the Enter authorization, you want to restrict others and leave it as no authorization. This way, the authorization group can only enter new slips and therefore cannot modify, delete, or adjust settings. The same is applied to the exception menu. If you want to only allow new sales or only allow the sales status to not be viewed, then we can limit it by putting it as no authorization. Once that's done, you have to make sure to go to the user and select the authorization and change it to Sales Department. When this notification pops up, it means that do you want to switch the individualized settings to the default authorization group? If you would like so, press Cancel. Then the authorizations that were set individually also changes to the default authorization. Once you're done, click Save. And when you go back to the ID and try to look at other menus, it does not work because you have not authorized them. But when you go to the Sales menu, it is appropriately accessible.